let's hear from you, agents out there. Enough of the apathy, enough of the, oh, let somebody else do it, enough of the, oh, you'll never make a change. Rubbish. I think it's an opportunity for agents to say, look, here we are, and we want to change things for the better. So just a quick update on my last video, which was well received, I think. Developers behaving badly. Developers have always behaved badly. You know, any shortcuts they can make, they'll try to. And you know, when you're in a booming market and you have pressure to deliver a number of units at a certain price and profit margin, and particularly if you're a publicly quoted company, and there's all sorts of different pressures. And look, this is no different. The fact we're in Marbella, it's no different to being in London or Paris or Munich or wherever. You know, these pressures exist everywhere in the world. I've bought property in London, new developments, new build from big developers, and things have gone wrong. And I've ended up battling developers in London, thinking I was going to get chucked into the Thames because I was causing such a stink. So look, none of this is new. I just wanted to try and create some movement and some passion amongst the real estate agents, who are the ones that can change it really. The end users can't, because they can't get themselves together to form a body that would have a voice. The developers, they're not going to self-police. The promoters are too tied in with the developers to try and police it. So it's left to the agents, and there are loads of us. There are, I think, thousands of us in the Costa del Sol. And so it would make sense that it's us that tries to drive the agenda and tries to drive the industry getting better, and developers being held to account for doing a better job. And we're not talking about much. You know, the product that they build is generally very good. It's just the little things. Normally at the end of the process, it's the snagging, it's the delivering what they said they were going to do. It's fixing little things, which, not a big thing monetarily. They're not big things, but they drive people mad. They drive buyers mad, because they've been looking forward to completion date. They've been looking forward to furnishing the property. They've been looking forward to holidaying there with their friends and their family. And then there's a leak, or there's a something coming down from the roof, or they can't use a bathroom, and it's just incredibly frustrating. And it's little things that can be sorted out. Yeah, so when I did the video, a lot of people said to me, "Oh, you're so brave, you know, calling out these developers." Well, I wasn't brave at all, really. I didn't name any names, did I? I threatened to, and I'm still kind of holding that threat open. But the interesting thing is, well, a couple of things. Firstly was the response from agents that, yes, this is also happening to our clients, and we want to help do something about it. So that was really encouraging, and thank you to those agents who gave some constructive feedback and thoughts to the process. And the second thing that was interesting was that we had a few clients saying, you know, should I be nervous? You know, I'm completing on a property in the next 12 months. Should I be nervous? And luckily, the clients that are completing with us anyway, well, fortunately, they haven't been buying on developments that have been affected so far. Although, who's to say it won't happen? And interestingly, the third thing that was surprising was that a few people reached out to me from the developer promoter community, which was really encouraging. One chap in particular, and thanks to him, you know, he said that it had prompted the agents who promote these properties. So you have a developer who builds the product, and then you have a promoter, which is normally an agency or a specialist company, like a Prime Invest or an Alta Vista or an Invoga, people like that. And then you have the agents who bring the clients, basically. So the middleman has always been the promoter, and it's a difficult job because you've got to look after the developer, make sure you're doing the best for the developer, but you've also got to look after your agents. And so yeah, a couple of people reached out to me saying, look, they're going to get the promoting agents together to try and put some pressure on the developers to do a better job, particularly at completion and post-completion and snagging and after sales and all that sort of stuff. So that was really encouraging and fantastic. And then what was interesting was that I then put out, I think it was on LinkedIn, right, okay, so thanks for all your comments, thanks for mucking in. Who's up for forming an agents association that's gonna help police the industry? And everybody went a bit quiet. Everybody went a bit quiet. And that was disappointing, really, because everyone was like, yeah, we need to sort this out, and then everyone was like, oh, I don't want to sort it out that badly, which was interesting. And then a couple of people basically just said, look, it's never going to work. What's the point in doing it? The developers are too big, they're too strong. And that's really disappointing. I'm a bit of a fighter, and I like to go into battle, and I think that unless one person is willing to stick their neck on the line and do something about it, then nobody else will ever follow, and the world will just be full of people following each other around doing the same old nonsense stuff. And I just think it's time to try and create a better space for everyone to work in, with some ethics and some standards that we can all of us adhere to. No one's perfect. We make mistakes, I'm sure. So my call today is out there to agents who would like to form something, an association, I don't know, something that we can that will give us a voice in the market with developers. As I say, there are thousands of agents. There are some associations out there already. There's the leading property agents of Spain or whatever it is. But what's that all about? What does that mean? I haven't been invited to join. So is it only for the big boys? Is it only for people who've got an office on the Golden Mile? Is it only for people who speak Spanish? I don't know. I haven't got a clue, because they've never, ever approached me to join. And I don't know if it's a bit of a closed shop. It's just a badge. Leading property agents. Look at us, aren't we amazing? But actually, does anything ever get done? I would rather be associated with a group of companies or an affiliation of agents who actually try and fight for what is right for the consumer. And I don't see any evidence of that anywhere in the market. So I'd be all up for doing something. People may think it's commercial suicide, that the developers will just blacklist me. But I think if there's enough of us, we're doing deals. We had a very successful year last year. We're selling properties with these developers and these promoters. So we have a little bit of clout. Not much, but we have a little bit. But if you bring in 50 or 100 or 200 of people like me, then you start getting a voice, and that's what we need. So yeah, let's hear from you, agents out there. Enough of the apathy, enough of the, let somebody else do it, enough of the, you'll never make a change. Rubbish. I have tried to make change in kind of everything I do, and as I say, I've been to battle with bigger and better developers than these guys were dealing with here on the Costa del Sol. So I think it's an opportunity for agents to say, look, here we are, and we want to change things for the better. So if you are a like-minded agent, please get in touch. You don't have to put it on LinkedIn or whatever. You can just message me privately, email me, remember email, and let's see what we can do. Let's meet up, have a coffee, and see what we can do, and whether we share the same ideas and whether we're aligned. And let's make things better for everybody. Yeah, but we need the volume. Look, it's not a massive problem. There are bigger problems in the world at the moment, but when it starts to affect your business day in, day out, and the clients are having a go at you because they see that you haven't done what you promised to do, and actually it's not your fault, it's somebody else down the chain, then I think it's only sensible that we do try and sort things out for them, and also to make our lives a little bit easier as well. Who's not into that? So yeah, I'm all ears, and I thank you to the agents who made the effort to contact me from the last video, and thanks for the response, and thank you to those promoters and developers who reached out as well to talk. I think that's a really good start. I'm not in the game of calling people out, and I would rather do things with dialogue. I would rather sit down around a table and express the concerns of our end user clients and hear what they've got to say, and try and find a solution that benefits everybody without naming and shaming. That's not really my style. But if it comes to it, if it's what we have to do, if I have to get chucked into the bottom of the Thames, then so be it. We'll see you next time. Cheers for now.